Two all beef patty, special sauce for the cheese, pickles, onions on the special cheese.
Now, I said Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's only one way to cook it, and that is Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that's
I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at the candle. Oh, that shit is on? Let me drop some shit like this here.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Bottom of the Pit podcast. I am, as per usual, Mick Whoopi Goldberg of the food chain. And today I have my illustrious co-host today.
What it do, y'all? It's your boy Pecan Swirl, the nightmare of the food chain. Yes!
Pecan Swirl, everybody. Now,
all sweet on the inside, but hard on the out.
as it says on this shirt. But if he's one of the elder members of the food chain, not calling you old or anything.
I know.
But you have a couple more years than the rest of us. But as far as that comes into
like fighting games
and all that is very significant because you were in the midst of all that when some of these older games were coming out and were brand new. Like some people, like myself, had to go back like after the fact and discover these. Well, you got to discover them like they were discovering America.
Yeah, we're talking like arcades, bro. Like sitting here having to get quarters, go to the arcade, go to corner stores, and sit and lose quarters fighting a computer. So. Yeah, I've been doing this for a minute.
And that's how you guys trained back then. That was the only way to train. Like, there wasn't online play. There wasn't the home consoles. You go to the arcades, you spend your money.
Talking trash to
everyone around you.
Pray to God that you don't get punched. Like,
if there's a problem, you solved it on the sticks or you didn't solve it at all.
That was a fact. That honestly, that was as much of a fact that I could ever, like, go back and remember. If you had beef with somebody, it's like whatever game it was. Even if it was like NBA Jam, which is crazy, you wouldn't think that NBA Jams would be like, yo, let's go to the corner store and let's play some NBA Jam. I'll shut you up right now. Over NBA Jams, my dude.
Some people get hardcore about that kind of stuff.
They did, and I saw some of it. And I was like, wow, they really about that life.
Well, that was a very interesting time. I'm kind of sad that I wasn't old enough to experience it because by the time I was conscious and was like, I like fighting games, the arcades were kind of going out of style. That's not where you met up with like the neighborhood kids and put your quarters into Street Fighter 2 or Marvel's Capcom 1 or anything like that.
Honestly, like I miss those days. I miss them. I miss them so much.
The simple times.
As
I would say, it was simple times.
Very simple, man. It's like, yo, like you said, you have beef, especially if you're game related. Mm-hmm. Yo, let's go to the corner, pitch your quarters up, pop them in that, the way how they always do it, pop them in that corner, roll them up, however y'all want to do it. Y'all take it out. Y'all become friends afterwards, which is really the good part.
Yeah.
You gain a friend,
especially if it was a good fight. You know, that's probably the most important thing when it comes to playing fighting games as a whole.
That is very true. You take, and it's funny because you some people you would just sit there and you'd be like, oh, okay, you know what? A person will take a series of L's. He or she will go back and train in secret. Come back the next time y'all face. What the heck? You all of a sudden got better. Like, yeah, because I spent quarters taking these L's. So, no, I'm going to make sure that when I come back, I'm going to beat you. Forget the whole back and forth. I'm going to make sure you felt exactly what I felt taking that string of L's.
Now that you bring that up there, it's a little bit of an impromptu question. I didn't give you any preparation for this one because I just thought of it now. But the best person to ask for this. Do you think losses are more important than victories in as far as learning to improve your gameplay?
Oh, yes. Definitely. If you win, what do you learn?
That's a real good question.
Like honestly, how many... We can even take it back to war. If you win, what strategies do you learn? Oh, the same strategy works. But the people who lost, they're like, oh, so we know how to work around this strategy now. We see plot holes in it. Whereas you're still thinking, oh, this still works. And it may work for a while. But for those that have been taking losses, they're just constantly gaining experience.
More experience than when you win. Because like you said, you win too often, you kind of stagnate.
Yeah.
Because you can only get so good on your own. Mm-hmm. It's like if you just train, like go into training mode, and you just train, and that's all the training you ever get. Mm-hmm. And then you move on to the next game without fighting another person, without going to the arcades or playing online. Nothing. You limit yourself. You
really do, and it's a sucky feeling, man. Because I mean, it's funny sometimes, but it's sucky because it's like if you have a group of people, you're always gonna have the one person that swear to Bob that, you know what, I'm gonna beat you one day, and they just never evolved. Now that's the part that kind of frustrates me. Is like you can't take this many L's and don't gain some experience.
Right. Well, that sounds like a problem on the player's part. Like he or she is
stuck.
Yeah, they're stuck. Like they aren't drawing the right lessons from their loss, and I think this is what might be the most likely case. They're blaming everything else aside from their lack of knowledge or their lack of skills or execution.
That is truth. Oh my gosh, is that truth? Blame everything, and I mean it's easier.
It is easier, and it does. You know, it works. It's not healthy, but
it's not healthy.
It makes you feel better. Oh well, I lost because that character's stronger, or that character's number 12 on the tier list, and my character's number 13.
And the funny part is to go back to a little bit. I'm glad you actually said something about the tier list.
Okay,
I'm so glad you said something about the tier list because when back then, they probably had tier lists, but nobody cared.
Nobody cared. No,
nobody cared. If you found a character you like, you just like that character. I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna pick. Let's see. I'm gonna pick Raiden. I like him because he has lightning, and that's the main reason why I like him. But now it's like, hey, you know what? He's like mid tier, and it's gonna be like, okay, I don't want to pick you, Raiden.
Yeah, because he's mid tier.
Exactly.
You like characters that have lightning. You like characters that teleport. They're gods, but he's mid tier, and you're trying to win, and that can be kind of unhealthy sometimes.
It is. It's very, and I think that's what I love. I love how the way you are, God. You're not even. You don't even try to shoot for mid. You don't even try to shoot for mid, let alone top. Like if you just happen to pick the person that's top, you just do.
That's just sometimes it does happen that way.
It does,
and I do feel bad for people who do pay attention to tier lists who don't like using top tiers, but their favorite character just so happens to end up being top tier. Mm-hmm. Like someone went and unlocked some new Super Saiyan 4 potential.
Right. And
now everyone knows, oh, this is the best character in the game. Yeah. So now you're playing like your favorite character. That's like if they release Reptile for MK11, I'm like, oh, it's Reptile. Oh, dope. And then he's like triple S tier. No one can touch him. He's unstoppable. I feel like crap because every time I win, I'm like, oh, he's using triple S tier Reptile, like whatever.
But see, the thing is though, is that the thing that goes along with that is that for us that know you, we already know the reason why that's your character.
It's true. This is also true.
Like at the end of the day, people say they're like, oh, well, the reason why he's winning is because no, idiot, this has been his dude from jump. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, yes, is he playing with a character that's triple S tier? Yes. But it wasn't like, it's not like a lot of y'all who just sit there because all you want to do is win. All you want to do is win. So you know what? I'm going to go to the highest tier character, even though I don't like him. That's the part that pisses me off. Okay, let's actually go to the question. Because
I'm on a tangent there, but it's okay. But
I will do that.
Like, when our first encounter, let me start there. Our first encounter, you and I, before we ever met in person, before we ever spoke in person, our very first encounter, and I didn't send this to you. I wanted this to be a surprise that maybe you'd be surprised that I remembered. But our very first encounter was on Street Fighter 3 Online Edition.
That makes sense, yeah.
That was our very first encounter. We've never spoken before that. We might have messaged each other for whatever reason. On PlayStation, it was PS3, so they didn't have voice chat or anything because they're barbarians. Xbox 360 had voice chat. But that was our first encounter. And we fought. It was your Ryu versus my Necro, and I was not versed in Street Fighter 3 at all. This goes back to what we were talking about before. I was too young because that came out in '99.
Wow.
So
really?
when Street Fighter 3 dropped, I was 6. So I wasn't in any mental capacity to learn the ins and outs of Street Fighter 3. But when Online Edition came out, it was possible. And that's where you and I first met on the battlefield. Your Ryu versus my Necro, and you beat my ass, bro. On the regulars, it was like 10 straight matches. We did 10 straight matches, and I went 0-10. And I don't even think you broke a sweat. But the thing that I remember the most, and this is what caught me off guard, it's because if anyone has played fighting games online, they know it can be a bit of a toxic environment. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like dropping into like an acid pit.
Yes.
Unless you have some type of special armor and you could take that, it's going to hurt a little bit.
So it's like, you get that was painful.
What I'm getting at is there's some mean people out there, guys.
Y'all need to stop it. Get a life.
Be nice every now and then. But when I said to you, man, you really you beat my ass, man. I am terrible at Street Fighter. What you said to me, and this kind of stuck with me from there, was like, no, bro, you're doing good. I mean, you haven't played Street Fighter 3 like I have. Once you get your Necro up there, man, you'll be beating me all day. And that's like what you said to me. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could beat him all day. Now, I still can't. Not on Street Fighter 3.
I don't know, bro. You done... God, to see your evolution in that game is like crazy. Oh my goodness! Like, dog, I look back at our matches sometimes because I saved them on the PS3.
Okay.
I look back at some of the matches and, bro, I wish you could see your evolution. I wish you could, because I was just sitting there and I'm like, I'm so glad we had this, because like when I sat here and I look back at those videos, I was like, what the heck? This dude just grew. He grew and grew and grew. Which goes back to the statement we said earlier. The losses help you gain experience. So you begin to start seeing. It's like, oh, this is how he plays. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Oh, okay. Oh, I see how he playing now. Switch it up. Like I said, your evolution was crazy.
Well, that is a great ego boost.
It's true, though.
But where I'm getting at, why I decided to tell that story, aside from catching everyone up with our history, was you have this thing that you always do and you pass on to everyone around you is win or lose, you stay positive. And that's something I noticed immediately. You always stay positive. If you lose, it's good games, man. I could have done this better, but man, you're so and so, your Ken or your Kung Lao was great. What did you do? Like how did you train? How can I improve my gameplay? And if you win, it's the opposite. It's like, hey man, you did great. Even if they're new,
right?
Even if they're new, you still find a way to you boost them up. You give them like lots of some pointers. You let them know that they're not bad. They're inexperienced, which I think is a very important thing to specify. You're not bad. You're inexperienced.
Right.
How do you keep that mindset? It's because through every battle, through all the years, how do you keep a positive outlook on these things?
To be honest with you, man, it's like when I lose. Let me break down that part first. When I lose, it's like you got to give credit where credit is due. You can't sit there and be mad at the person for beating you. Like, oh, you suck, man. You suck. You can't get mad at the person for beating you. That means that they work hard at their craft. They got better to beat you and whoever else is in that room. You can't get mad at that. You got to give credit where credit is due. And then after that, once again, you got to look at where could I have done better? What can I have done a little bit, like where could I have been smart at with my defense, my offense, my counters, my reversals? You just gotta think like that. You can't sit here and be mad at everybody because you lost. Losing is losing. It's going to happen. Doesn't matter. You can't be flawless in everything. Now, so far as like the winning perspective of it, when it comes down to it, those who are new, those are definitely new. You really gonna feel cocky and confident over beating somebody new?
Some people do.
I know. We know a person.
We know a person.
We know a person. Like, that's whack. Why are you proud of that? You can't be proud of beating somebody that's new. He or she barely knows the combos. He or she barely knows how to press a square triangle and then string it up into a special. You feeling proud over that? No, you should encourage that. You should sit there and be like, yo, don't sweat it. Like, honestly, don't sweat it. You're going to get better with time. You're going to get better with time. The more you train, the more you practice, the more you battle, the more... Once again, go back. Take L's. Experience. Experience is going to be your key. And every time you see your experience grow, you are going to become something better, something greater. And we've seen that. Me and you have seen that in the chain.
Yes, that's a great... We have plenty of great examples there.
Plenty. And it's just like, what the heck? So, both negative and positive, man, you just got to be honest with yourself. You losing, you can't get mad at the player. You winning, you got to sit here and respect it. For the fact you even had the heart to pick up the joystick and try to go against somebody that's been doing this for years. So that's just my way to look at it.
True. It does take a lot of courage to go into a fight that you know you're probably going to lose, but you'll throw your hat in anyway, see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you think you have a pretty good eye for players who might have potential compared to players who, maybe you shouldn't give them as much time or your energy?
You know what? One of the members of the chain that it was so funny. One of the members of the chain that when we first met, we was playing Dragon Ball Z. And it's funny, when I first met him, I was like, yo, he's not too bad. And as we sat there and we trained more together, I was like, yo, you have potential. You have crazy potential.
I cut in for 1 second. Now, was this Dragon Ball Z Budokai?
This was Budokai Tenkaichi.
Budokai Tenkaichi. Okay, go on.
Okay.
I just want to make sure everyone's not like on fighters.
Right, my fault. My fault. Correction. Yes,
like,
Budokai Tenkaichi.
All right, we're going way back. This is way back.
This is way back. So, yes. So, like, seeing him fight there, and seeing him constantly get better and better and better and better and better. I was like, wow. Like, okay, this is good. Like, this dude has crazy potential. Then, as we continue to train and get better and better and better, face each other, he just grew and grew. Hence, maybe, which is why I hate one of the characters that he plays with, is Noelle, and we all know who that is. You know who you are. I hate you for picking her. She's cheap as crap. But
calling him out.
Yes, I am calling you out. But no, he got so good. He got so good, and not to sound emotional, I'm proud of where he's at. I'm very happy where he's at. Like it's such a joy to see where he's at, because I'm like, dang, like I see where he was, and I see where he's at now.
Right. It's got to be a little bit surreal knowing where someone started compared to where they are now, especially with the landscape being so different than how it used to be.
Yes, very much, very true, and like I said, just to see him evolve from like where he was, like, oh my goodness, it's an annoying, but at the same time, it's a beautiful thing, because I'm just like, man, yo, you look fantastic. I hate you, but you look fantastic.
Well, a lot of the chain, at least the ones that take fighting games even semi-seriously, they sort of look up to you as a mentor type.
Wow.
Yeah, they kind of attribute some of their maybe their earlier losses, but their earlier lessons, I should say, not earlier losses, their earlier lessons. To like having you around, with the older games, like you said, Budokai Tenkaichi, your old Tekkens, your Bloody Roars.
Oh my gosh!
So I think you have a bigger impact than you realize. And
I never know.
You're a humble man with a humble plan.
I don't like I said, I don't keep track of that stuff. Like I'm not like, oh, what did can I change in this timeline?
It's like, who am I going to influence today?
Like, you ain't thinking about that, like, because I can say that you influenced me.
All right, don't blow my head up now.
No, I'm gonna blow it up. I'm gonna blow it up until it
Just
becomes
the
a big bomb. So, but no, like, you influenced me, and so has the chain. Like, I face plenty of people. From Delaware to Jersey to Philly to Maryland. And just to let you know, this is in person. This ain't online. This is actually in person.
In person.
Like, you pick your backpack up, and we go into your spot, and we're gonna trash you at your spot.
Right. And we're gonna settle it there.
We're gonna do that. So, you know, and just like a little small side note, I think people really look down on us here in Delaware.
In Delaware,
in
yeah,
general,
we don't
like,
get a lot of love.
We did look down on us here. So when they hear about us, and then I tell them about the people that I face, and that's you guys, they're like, yeah, all right. I'm like, dude, you can barely beat me. Like, I was like, you can't beat my squad. My squad is nasty. Just to let you know, like, our ones that are coming up, they will destroy you. I'm like, trust me. Like, so, and this is where, that's why I like when you say you're an influencer. I'm like, I don't know how much I'd actually influence. I wasn't trying to. Like,
You don't gotta be humble, man.
wow.
Pecan Swirl over here, guys. Mr. Magnanimous.
I don't even know the meaning. Let me stop. I need to find that word out now.
Open his phone, look it up.
Right?
That's an interesting perspective on the whole win-loss connection and how it influences skill level and pretty much how you would grow in the future as a fighting gamer. Mm. It's kind of there's no one out there who's taken nothing but wins and it's still good. It doesn't happen in anything. Everyone's lost. Everyone's won some. Everyone's lost some. Okay, well, moving on to the next topic. Before I start to ramble on about other random things, there was this weird trend. It was not so much weird. I don't know, and it might be a coincidence or people were just copying off each other at the time. Where
oh man, this is that question.
Where fighting games, they had this thing. They would have their first entry. It's their first entry. They're feeling things out. Maybe it's not great. Mm-hmm. Tekken 1 was not fantastic. Street Fighter 1 was very not fantastic. Oof. And MK, it was good for its time. It was
very smooth. It was very smooth for its time.
For its time, and then was overshadowed immediately by 2. But same with Street Fighter. Street Fighter was way overshadowed by 2.
Very true. Very true.
But some people, and before I go on to Tekken, I'm gonna just say the topic outright. Once, and I'm just using these 3 as an example. Yeah. If other branches have done this, I'm just not aware. But those 3 in particular, Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat, they did this thing that once they got to the 3rd installment, they flipped the cast. They got rid of everyone, replaced them with new people, or they were just like the children of old people, or they just revamped the entire cast. No one from the past made it. Why do you think they did that?
Feedback.
Just feedback? Just to see if they can throw in new characters?
Tons and tons of feedback, man. I mean, like, you think about it. Tekken 1, very stiff. Mm-hmm. Street Fighter 1, very stiff.
You controlled, like,
shit. God, it was 2 buttons, actually. It was just only 2 buttons.
It was terrible.
It was crap. Mortal Kombat, probably the smoothest out of the 3.
Probably. But the shallowest out of the 3.
Yeah, the most shallowest too. But the thing is that both, like all of them, was like they need a rework. They really did. And that's why like it just was like when they came to like the 3rd installment, I was like, hey, let's actually do something different because with 1 and 2, okay, they're good. They set us up. But like the 3rd one is just like, all right, yo, let's just switch this thing around. Let's pit new people in here. Let's pit children of these cats in here. Let's pit students of the people that was in the original ones. And I think that just leaves a gateway, opening gateway to the point of it's like, hey, you know what? We can do more with these type of characters now. Okay. Instead of leaving them boxed in with this section. I think about Third Strike.
Got you.
Sean. Sean's probably one of the funniest people to bring up. But the thing is, though, is that Sean was trained by Ken. And if you look at how the way Sean fights, he has a very unique style. Still very close and similar to Ken. Because if I'm not mistaken, when he brought out Street Fighter 3, he took out Ken and Ryu.
Yeah, and the original, was it New Generation?
New Generation.
There's no Ryu, no Ken, and no Chun-Li.
Exactly. So it was like, all right, so let's see how the way we gonna do this. You got people that have similarities, but I mean it ain't the same characters. Now, like I said, it's just feedback for most part when it comes down to it. Like people just was like, we want to see something different. We don't want to see things to be too stiff. Let's switch things up.
See how the fans react to it. And sometimes it was positive, sometimes it was negative. I think it comes down to something like that to a player-to-player basis.
Yeah.
Some people like those, and some people, they like their old cast.
Yeah.
Which franchise do you think did it the best? Which one do you think they flipped the script for the third installment and came out on top?
This is gonna sound super biased.
Go for it.
Sounds super biased. Tekken to me did it like the best. Tekken did it the best. I mean, because you look at it, King, my dude, Jin, Zhao Yu, Julia, was it martial law or forest law? Forest law.
Yeah.
Come on, them cats right there. King was a person that was getting trained by Armor King. Martial law, forest law, was martial law's son. Jin Kazama, Jun and Kazuya's kid have similar traits and all that stuff. I mean, but the thing is that it all flowed and worked together. It was like pit and butter.
It was like a natural progression of the story.
It was a very natural.
It wasn't jarring.
It
wasn't jarring. It just felt natural, like butter, just smooth.
Just put it on there, slide it on there, bam, there you go. Oh, this look good. Yeah, this looks good. Let's eat this afterwards. Like,
I'd actually agree though. I would agree. I would agree that Tekken 3. And as anyone who knows me, I'm a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan. But even I could acknowledge that vanilla Mortal Kombat 3, I think is hot garbage. Out of the three, I think MK3 got it the worst. Now, I'm not saying Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
I was about to bring up Ultimate.
I specified vanilla MK3. Ultimate MK3 that's a whole other beast. That's probably the topic for another day.
Yo,
Ultimate was something special.
God, it was.
But what I'm talking about is that third installment. You know, we went from MK2 and then we got MK3, and that's what we had. MK3, and I think the roster was terrible. They took off Sub-Zero's mask. Scorpion wasn't in it. No ninjas. Stryker was in it. The only cool character to come out of vanilla MK3 was Cabal. I think he is the
Why
best
did you sit
design.
there and think that? Because I was literally thinking the same as I think. I was like, if you take a ball, I'm done.
That's because that's how it is. He was the only cool design to come out of MK3, as opposed to Tekken 3. I'm not gonna. I'll touch on Street Fighter 3 last. But with Tekken 3, you brought up King 2, Julia, Jin, and Forest Law, and Xiao Yu.
That's right. I forgot Xiao Yu. Yeah.
They're all. Well, I think you brought up Xiao Yu.
Did I?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But anyway, they're all fan favorites now. They're fan favorite. Like Tekken wouldn't feel the same without those characters. Well, Forest Law was quickly replaced by Martial Law. I don't think anyone could tell the difference, though, to be honest.
No, it's taking it the same.
Because it was like the same fighters. But they're fan favorites now. Like if they released Tekken 8 and Jin wasn't in it, that would be weird.
That will be disturbance in the force.
Yes, that would be very strange.
That'd be a bad move.
And Julia, there was a big stink that Julia wasn't in Tekken 7, and they brought her in Tekken 7, and everyone lost their minds. I'm not a huge Julia fan myself.
Neither am I,
but she has her fans.
She do. She's a very complicated character to play too.
Yeah. But the fact that so many iconic characters came out of Tekken 3, like Eddie Gordo. The bane of many people's existence, but he's a cool character. He's a cool character, right? He's
so easy mode.
He's a very faithful adaptation of the fighting style, I'd say.
Very.
He's pretty cool, and my boy Yoshimitsu came back in his coolest and his most iconic design yet. That's the one everyone goes to.
That design is literally
Tekken 3 one.
Like one of the best designs ever. I will honestly, if I can pick a samurai, I will have Yoshimitsu right there in that outfit. If he's in any one of them other outfits, especially that Beetleborg outfit, I'm gonna so dismantle him. Like get off of me, get away from me. Yeah.
Now we can talk about Street Fighter 3 and MK3 right now. Mostly I want to talk about Third Strike and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
Okay, so we're gonna jump into
we're gonna jump into the expansions to the third, because with Tekken 3, and I would like to lump them in there, but the only real difference is like the arcades to the consoles, where you got like Tiger and I think and Gon and Dr. Voskanovich and weird stuff, Tekken Ball and stuff like that.
Yeah, those are fun.
They're fun. They're very fun and funny, but they're inconsequential.
Yeah.
But with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and then to all your listeners out there, we have determined that Tekken 3 is the best 3 out of the 3s.
It is.
But talking about Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and Third Strike, specifically, they're hailed as the best version, and to some people, it's their favorite installment of the entire franchise is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. What do you think about that?
I actually I know why everybody likes Third Strike.
What's that?
I know the parry effect.
The parries?
The parry effect. Like, honestly, I love Third Strike. I do. Honestly, I really do. If it played just like Street Fighter without the parry effect, to me, that will always show how good you really are.
Okay.
Because, man, I face cast, I sit there and just waited for you to throw an attack. So that way they can just parry the whole entire match, and they're gaining a gauge off it. So it's like, okay, I see what you're waiting for. So it's like, I love it. I love how smooth it is. I love the fact that they brought back my dude. I love, but like all in all, I just love it. That's just why I say I think the main reason why is that once people learn how to do the parry, it became more of a, you know what, let's hold off. Let's wait till the first person makes a mistake.
Right, it became a little bit more defensive as opposed to neutral like Street Fighter usually is.
Yeah. And I mean, that was just like, I wish they didn't do that. But outside of that, that's still pretty good. But Ultimate
MK3.
Gosh, Combo Central.
Yeah, that's where they first. That's I think where they perfected the combo system they were going for. That version.
Yes, I didn't even like Rain.
I'm mad you went straight through.
Yeah. I didn't like him. I didn't like Rain, but I had this crazy combo that I learned with him. And pretty much it was just like the basic average, regular combo. And he kicks you the round the world kick. And you end up on the other side, and I just finished it off with an uppercut, like right afterwards.
Nice and simple.
I was like, what the heck? And it took so much life. But the smoothness to the game, the roster, oh my goodness. From what it was to what it became.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest draw.
Wow.
Was because it kind of shows. Don't take the ninjas out.
Don't take them.
What
out.
are you thinking?
That was stupid.
That was very. I see where they were going. Let's see if we can
Give
dial
somebody
back
else
the
some time.
ninjas. Like we got 3 ninjas in the game. Some people think that's too many ninjas, and my question is, who the hell was telling you 3 is too many ninjas? You can never have too many
It's
ninjas.
ninjas, dude. Like, come on. Like, you're actually going to listen to the person that's like, it's too many ninjas.
Too many ninjas. One's a demon, one fires ice, and one's a reptile in disguise.
The other one that's like a big ball of human soul. Wannabe Shang Tsung. You got one that sit there like to control the weather. Fake storm. We got Noob. Deals with his own personal demons. We got so many. Got so many. But they're all fun, though.
They're all fun, and I think that's where Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 shines way over the original. It's just fun. MK3, the original, kind of, I don't know about you, but it kind of felt a little bit clunky to me.
Yeah, 3, I agree with you 100%. It felt stupid clunky. Like, even when you run, like, it's like
made the weird noise.
Like, you can just run to a person and then he'll stop. And then, like, then whatever the case is, you're trying to do like a combo, but the person always ready to block.
Right.
It's like, what? I did all that. I burned my meter just to get close to you so you can block. Stupid.
That was before the times of like high-low combos and stuff. So I guess one of the main strategies back then was you can run up and start like block pressure with a combo or just throw them.
Yeah. It was rush.
Or just get rush.
Great rush. I missed that.
Just running up
and rushing into somebody's face. It's like, oh god, like I wasn't expecting that. I was like, yeah.
But when I was a youngster playing MK3, I would always laugh at, and this is kind of just like a sidebar. I would always laugh at Sub-Zero's throw in that game because he would just kind of like pick you up like a bag and just kind of just chuck you.
Yoink.
Yeah, like. But you never went that far, and it's like really silly.
I know, it's like he only just like threw like right in front of him. Like it was like, boop.
Not to mention his Sub-Zero's design in MK3 was hot garbage. I just hate unmasked the characters that don't kind of match. And you know, he had the unmasked, and he looked like a young Tommy Lee Jones. He had like the ninja suit, kind of, but he had no shirt underneath it, you know, so he's showing off his muscles or whatever.
Oh, he was a young Tommy Lee Jones.
And, you know, they gave him like the scar of his eye, make him cool.
Man, the paint.
Yeah, it looked good, like paint.
The paint and lightning bolt.
There were a lot of
like he was so flawed.
Yeah, he looked terrible, and I thought he looked terrible. I thought his slide looked stupid.
His slide was though.
I hated his up ice.
Oh, his praise ice.
Yeah, his praise ice.
Praise ice. Praise Lord ice. It's like, yes, I come to you, the ice god.
In Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, they brought back Scorpion.
Need it.
What do you think they were thinking when they said, "Don't put Scorpion in MK3"?
Stupidity.
Just stupid. Just nothing at all. They just weren't thinking anything.
It was like, oh, let's just try to take out. Like you said, let's take out the ninjas. Sub-Zero's counterpart is fire. Why would you take that away? That doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, well, you know what? 1 and 2, you had fire and ice. 3, hey, we're going to take out the fire.
Now we just got ice.
No, we just got ice cold. That's all we got. Like, everybody's drinks is constantly frozen. Like, you ain't got Sub-Zero, you ain't got Scorpion there to be like, hey, you know what? Let me burn some of that off a little bit, you know, man. So that way, you know, you have some nice drink.
What a weird scenario. All the MK characters after the fight just hang out in the lounge and just chill.
They're like Sub-Zero just like, all right, this is my job, I guess. But then like Scorpion come like, nah! It's like, here you go, it's free. It's out the freezer.
Well, I think they figured we have, and this is probably what they had going through their heads or what they were pitching at meetings. They had the Cyber Ninjas. They had Cyrax and Sector.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is if they have Sub-Zero in his regular outfit, they have Scorpion, they bring back Reptile, and then they have these 2 Cyber Ninjas. That's 5 ninjas. I think they might have thought that was too many ninjas. I think 5 might have been what they thought was too many.
But the weird part is that even though people, even though they are considered cyber ninjas, people looked at them as just cyborgs.
Yeah, they're just robots.
They didn't look at them as cyber ninjas. They just was like, oh, they're cyborgs. Even though technically they are ninjas, but anybody's like, you. Like first of all, you know, hey, you didn't hear no ninja say like, you.
That's
like,
a lot of noise for a ninja to be making.
That's what I'm like. It's like, yo, you should be dead quiet. Like even scorpions, get over here. It's like, yo, you sound black. Like
at that point, he's already got you stabbed.
Right?
He's done his ninja job. The rest is just flair, you know? Scorpion's a pretty good ninja.
Yes, he is. He is. And it's just kind of messed up when that's the last thing you hear. It's like,
He's got you stabbed. It's like, he's dead.
Oh!
I guess I am coming over there.
I actually like what they did with his chain now. Like, instead of
a rope, instead of being a rope dart.
That thing being in his hand. I like what they did now. It's actually pretty cool.
But I want to talk to you now about Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. We might have started touching on it and then moved on to Ultimate, but I want to go back to Third Strike for a second.
Got you.
The biggest things that came with Third Strike were like a lot of buffs and nerfs to certain characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sean, they buffed up because he was pretty much a joke character back then.
He was.
And I believe, nobody quote me on this because I am irresponsible and I didn't do all the research I should have. But I believe Third Strike brought in Q. I think Second Impact had Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li, and then Q was in Third Strike.
No.
Q and 12, I think, were added for Third Strike.
No, they was in Double Impact.
They was in Double Impact? What I say, Second Impact?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. It's Impact. The word's there. Yeah, they was in Double Impact.
Okay.
And the only reason why I remember that actually was because my one of my rivals that I played with, you know, when he had the Dreamcast, like he picked 12 a lot.
Gotcha.
A lot. Way before Third Strike even came out. He picked 12 a lot. And I was like, you suck, dude. Because the only reason why he did it is because he always wanted to try to copy whoever I had.
Yeah, to be a little cheeky about it.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Go ahead and do it. You can't beat the original. can't beat the original anyway.
The Jamaican Shake's actually a 12 main.
Oh, you suck.
But what would you say about the cast of characters in Third Strike? Because they revamped it.
I actually like the cast.
You think they got like a charm about them?
Yeah, like I mean, Q is like he's straight raw power. I love that. Like he's just like I'm hit you with everything I got. Necro, which is dude. Necro's funny.
He's so funny.
Necro is funny, like all the way around. Urine, yo, I can't hate anybody more, but at the same time, I can't respect anybody more. I hate that dude so much because he's just God, so annoying. Yun, I just hate. I have no respect for Yun.
No respect for Yun?
No respect for Yun.
Why not?
I have none. Yeah, he's one of those characters that once everybody realized how top tier he was.
Oh, they all flocked to him?
They all flocked to him.
Got you.
Flocked to him like a seagull, like a bunch of seagulls. Just was like, oh, he's top tier. Let's play with him. And that to me, it was just like, you know what? I don't like this character. Not to say he is a bad design or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I don't like this character because they strictly just made me not like him. I'm not gonna say a lie. They made me not like that dude.
I feel you. What about Yang?
Yang is actually you don't see too many people usually. But
he's not as good as Yun is.
No.
By a mile, but
I like him. Okay. I like him. I mean, I wish they did something with his little phasing thing. That's weak.
It doesn't have much of a purpose.
It can no purpose.
Trick people up.
No,
if they're not paying attention. I mean,
well, yeah, if they're not paying attention, and they're super new at the game.
Yeah, they're gonna lose anyway if they're not paying attention.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can get that one anyway. Oh, Hugo, Andre the Giant. Hugo is ignorant. That dude is
very ignorant.
He's so ignorant.
He's so strong. He's got so much power.
Stupid strong. Like I just like the fact that he grabs you, throw you out,
like it's nothing.
just like, and then just runs up and grab you, and just like, Yeah, he's stupid. He's stupid good. Who else? God, I'm missing a lot more people. Ibuki, she's cool.
Ibuki, she was a very quick fan favorite.
She
Ibuki.
She wasn't, but like the schoolgirl outfit too. I think that was more so the reason. Once they found out, she's schoolgirl.
She's a schoolgirl ninja. Like we haven't seen that in a million times.
Yeah, I know, right? Who else? I know we got like a lot.
That's where Makoto debuted.
Makoto, oh man, she was a unique character.
She was. She hit like a truck as far as young girls go in fighting games. She probably hits the hardest out of all of them.
Yeah, like and you see it. Like the thing when she's just sitting there, she like just got a little stance.
Yeah.
Like see the dorm neck headband start waving.
Well, while we're talking about Makoto, that was that's when they were testing out. They're not testing out. They were using it. They're using their brand new overhauled system, and they had her clothes flowing at all times. Everything she did, everything flowed. And I think they kind of built Makoto from the ground up to show that off. And I think more games need to do that. They need to just design a character to show off what they can do.
Man, they need to just bring back 2D.
Bring back 2D. It hasn't gone anywhere, man.
It has to a degree. Like they got the 2D, 3D, and I think the ones who did that best, where they could show off that technique that you was talking about for like the game gens.
Oh yeah,
it's Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear is a beautiful
Guilty Gear, and I will say this too. Guilty Gear and King of Fighters 13.
King of Fighters 13 has the best sprites I've ever seen. And I'm going on record right now, everybody. King of Fighters 13 has the best sprites I have ever seen.
Hand-drawn sprites. Smooth to the core. And then like when you see how the way the clothing moves,
it was magic.
It was like, what the heck? This is like actually watching anime all the way through.
The thing is, they weren't like designed as anime characters. They still had their own distinct, KOF design.
Exactly.
And their own, unique touch on it without it going straight anime like Blaze Blue. Not that there's any problem with that. There's no problem with being anime.
Oh no,
but King of Fighters just wasn't anime.
But King of Fighters, and that's the point. They had such a crazy mixture. Like you're right. They had that King of Fighters still feel there, but they had a little bit of touch of. There's just still a little bit of cartoonishness all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is a little cartoonish.
It's still cartoonish. I mean, come on, these guys is my boy Ralph, buff as crap, buff. He just pecs upon pecs with a small behind vest,
making explosions with his fist.
Yeah,
we're playing fighting games, people.
God dang it, no! Don't get me started with that.
Yeah, but we kind of went off on a tangent.
I know. But to go back to the Street Fighter.
Okay.
Yes, I like the cast. It's so many. Remy was a straight knockoff. I didn't have too much of a problem with him, but he was a straight knockoff.
Yeah, Guile he had the low Sonic Boom. That's always fun. I think the problem with Remy comes down to I personally enjoyed the parrying system. You don't, I do, but I think the problem with Remy comes down to the parry system because with a game with a parry system like that where you hit forward at the right time, you parry the move, and you recover a lot faster and you can do stuff. Zoning doesn't work. Zoning is dead. You can't zone anyone out for real. They can't land on your projectile because they'll parry the projectile and they'll land without issue. Mm-hmm. So I think a character like Remy that has, he can go high with his Sonic Booms, he can go low with his Sonic Booms, and his Ultra, he just throw a bunch of Sonic Booms. It's like, well, if you're playing a seasoned player like yourself, you'll just parry the Sonic Booms.
Which I have done.
I'm sure you have. I have no doubt.
And that's the crazy part. As much as I hate parry, I had to get adjusted to it.
You have to.
You have to I hate this thing. What was the game we played? And I sat there and I put, I hate parries. Because, it wasn't even an intentional parry. It was like an accidental parry, and I ended up winning the match. And I was like, freaking hate parries, man.
But you beat me.
I still hate it.
What you mean?
It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
And you see him charging his flash kick, you parry the flash kick, and all of a sudden he's going through the whole animation, and you hadn't moved, and you're just waiting. You have a million years to wait for him to land, and you can punish him with a full combo.
But you want to know what game had it good?
Parry system?
No, not even parry system. Just the fact that it was balanced. Alpha 3, they had air blocks.
Alpha 3, I didn't bring up the Alpha 3s. Okay.
Air blocks? Like what? Like, okay, sit there, like, go ahead and sit there in...
Alpha 3 had air blocks?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, go ahead and sit there and do your little, sonic flash, flash kick, whatever the case is. I'm going to block that. Now, it's like, the thing is that it didn't make it cheap. It didn't make it cheap. It wasn't like, oh, hey, I'm gonna block it, then I'm gonna go down the same exact area where you at. Like, you can block it and it'll push you down, but it'll like push you down backwards a little bit, which will give you somewhat of a chance to recover. But if you're good enough, like, you'll be able to capitalize on that mess up.
Okay, that makes sense. And air blocks are good for that kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the parry system is just like, all right, I'm gonna parry this, and you're just gonna be completely open.
Right. I mean, you still have to time it right. Not every move is good. It's not good to parry. Some moves are better to block instead of parry. Because sometimes blocking it leaves your opponent more open than parrying. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, and I don't know the frame data on any of those moves. I won't even front and pretend like I do. By the time Street Fighter 3 Online Edition came and went for me, I was not in my prime. So, so I have no idea. Yeah, and I think that's the thing, dude. Like, oh my gosh, like the parry system. Like for me, I face one of them. God, I have so many people I face. Like, I faced one of my other friends, and he did something crazy, and I wasn't expecting to do parry. None of this stuff. None of it. But because, like you said, you have to get adjusted to the parry system. Yeah, you have to learn. I parried like a good majority of it, and I just did one low mid kick. Stopped him. Oh, in his tracks? Stopped him right in his tracks. And he was shocked by it, and I was mad. I was like, so weird. I guess if you perceive it as a cheap tactic, using it even if by accident, does it make you feel like you kind of stole the round from them? I do. I'm very old school. Okay, very old school. Block. And that's not the first time I've heard that. Yeah. A lot of people I hear they don't like the parrying, they don't like all that flashy stuff. They're just real old school, down to the basic fundamentals. and I can respect that. And it still works. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah, well, you have to have a strong foundation anyway for if you want to be good at anything. You can't you can't pile a whole bunch of nice new shingles on top of nothing, right? You got a busted Hyundai. You need to build up to the roof before you can start decorating the roof. Yeah. So I mean, like, to me, like, it's where I hate it more than I love it. Okay. But outside that, I love the Street Fighter cast though. The whole Street Fighter cast. The entire Street Fighter, even E-Honda. Even E-Honda. I hate E-Honda. Well, at first I hated Blanca. Yeah, that's true. At first I hated Blanca, and not even because of you. I just hated him because I didn't like the fact that he was a charged character. I actually hated all charged characters for a while. Then I just was like, you know what? I'm not... They have their place. They have their place, and I respect it. Afterwards, I just realized that, respect this show because this is how the way they play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And they're designed around that. Can you imagine taking Blanca's ball and turning it into like a quarter circle forward punch? God, that thing be broke. I mean, that thing, you're like, it's like, what the heck? I was like, I can't even do nothing. He'd be top tier forever. Oh yeah, he would never drop. Never. Oh god! And then his one when he goes above. Yeah, can you imagine if that's just like a quarter circle back kick? He would just do that, or your opponent would never be able to let go of block. They'd be holding down block forever. You never know when he's gonna fly across the screen. And it's a cross up. It is a cross up if you have to EX at the cross, or if you just space it right. I guess. No, space it right. It's straight cross up. You ain't even gotta EX it. Straight cross up. It's crazy. But luckily it's a charge attack, so it's balanced. Yes. It's balanced. Yes. Usually moves that fly across the screen are balanced that way. Because that's pretty good. Like Bison. Bison is a charge character.
I like Bison.
Okay, so we've been on that for a while. We should probably move on to the next topic at hand.
Next topic.
And this is actually the question that kind of got me started on the whole bottom of the pit podcast was this like one question. So it's a pretty big question for me to know and about you. Because I had this question thought of for a while after all this experience playing against you, and it's just always something that's been plaguing my mind. So I figured this is a good outlet to ask you in actual context. So the question is,
let me get in my seat.
the question is, I played you at a lot of games. I have footage of playing you at a lot of games. We were just talking about Street Fighter 3, where I was fighting your Ryu, your completely infallible Ryu. I played you at Blaze Blue. We don't have many fights, you and I, at Blaze Blue. But you're a Ragnar main. Very good Ragnar main. You definitely keep taking my health. That's all I remember is I can never get you down far.
I cheated. I cut it back up.
But I do have extensive gameplay against you in Guilty Gear. My Potemkin against your Soul Bad Guy.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And those are always intense matches. Soul Bad Guy he's
freaking had nightmares of them shows. I literally had a nightmare that I played you for like 12 hours straight. And like,
oh my god!
Like, it was weird. It was so weird. My fault. Go ahead. You've had this hatred towards Potemkin. Oh god!
Since before I even played Guilty Gear for the first time, you tell me how much you hate Potemkin and he's so broken, and I hate fighting Potemkin and he needs to get out this game.
Yeah, my friend, he did that for me.
Oh really?
He did that for me. I hate Potemkin so much. Oh my gosh.
But when you look at all those characters, Ryu in Street Fighter, Ragnar, Blaze Blue, Soul Bad Guy, and Guilty Gear, those are all the face characters. They're all the ones that are the protagonist of the series. If there's a story mode, they're the main characters. It follows them and their endeavors and their struggle. And those are pretty big fighting games. Mm-hmm. And then we go to Tekken, which is I hesitate to call it your main game as far as I know you.
This one is definitely one. Is
Tekken that I've seen you perform your
very
optimal. I've seen you perform at godlike levels in Tekken. So I kind of just associate you with Tekken. But in Tekken, you are a King main.
Yes.
You are a very infamous King main in Delaware. But the thing is, King is very much he's beyond a side character. He gets no love story-wise. No one even talks about King.
Nobody cares
in
to
the
know
story.
Yeah.
Why do you go from maining mostly protagonists to going to a side character like King?
The weird part is I got to break this part down with the Ryu one.
Okay.
I'll try not to take too long.
No, you're fine.
The weird part is like me growing up playing Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, I never knew Ryu as to be the main protagonist.
Oh no, you just.
I'm dead serious. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I view Ryu back then. I seen everybody pick Ken, pick Guile as a kid. Ken, Guile. That was every time I played Street Fighter. Because they're USA. They team USA.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I was the oddball. Every person I faced, they either pick Ken or they pick Guile. Or of course you want to get cheap and try to pick thousands hit you from a far distance. So I picked Ryu. And I never knew he was the main protagonist. Never knew it. Until like later on in life. And I was like, well, I already got adjusted to him, so
he's already in your hands.
So yeah, so I'm already adjusted to him. But now when it came to King was such a childish reason why I picked him.
Why?
Why? He had a leopard head.
He had a leopard head.
And he was a wrestler. Like, he had the most... come on, bro. Like, dude, he had a button-up shirt with a tie spandex on.
Yo,
suspenders on.
Suspenders.
With a leopard hat. And he's a wrestler. Like, and I love wrestling. I took up wrestling. So I was like, hey, this guy is weird. I like this. So let me play with him. And as I continued to play with him, I learned some of his grabs. Like, early stages like Tekken 2.
Yes, but they weren't very vast.
They were not very fast, but they were very powerful.
Yep, they hit hard.
They were very powerful.
He's always had powerful grabs.
Always.
Powerful grabs, as far as I remember.
Yeah, like, and it was just cool. But for the most part, I just liked him as a character. Like like you said, he wasn't popular. He really wasn't. I didn't see nobody else growing up picking King. I seen Juns. I seen Kazuyas. I seen Angels. I seen Pauls, Martial Laws. Those are the 5 main people I seen be picked in Tekken growing up.
Got you.
For most of my life. And of course, when Tekken 3 came out, Eddie's out the woodworks.
You can play Eddie with your eyes closed.
You can.
Tekken 3.
You can. You ain't even got to touch the joystick and you can play Eddie. But out of all that, I played. The reason why I love King is just because he was a grappler. He was. Okay. He's a rusher. The way how I play with him. He's a rush. I rush with you. I don't just grab because I know everybody's always like, oh well, he's technically just straight grappler, but I love rushing with King. That's grabbing wise and just hitting you with combos.
Okay.
So it's actually a childish reason why I actually like King. Like, you know.
Well, in a way, it's. I mean, as a Yoshimitsu man, I could definitely tell you about childish reasons to pick. But in a way, he kind of resonated with who you are as a person. Yeah. Is what it sounds like, at least, compared to Ryu, who you played because he wasn't being played. Because was it Street Fighter 2, I imagine you were talking about?
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2?
Yeah.
At that point, Ken was a 1-for-1 clone.
Mm-hmm.
So, picking Ken, you're also picking Ryu, but you preferred to say the Ryu skin of the Shoto. But mainly because, this is what I'm going for. If you had other reasons, you know them. I'm just going by what you're telling me is kind of like an environmental reason. You know, everyone's picking the American characters, but you don't play that. You're not a sheep. You don't follow all that. Everyone wants to play Ken. You gonna play Ryu.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Like, as much as people just sit there and be like, "Oh, why you play Ryu? He's slow. He's sluggish. He's not that good. He's not. Well, whatever." I heard that a lot growing up, and then I'll face these grown behind men. Like, and I'm every bit of like 7 years old, beating with a dude that they so-called quote unquote said is trash. I'm like, he's basically your character, but without the fire.
Yeah, and you're right. But I think they acquaint the fire with like more power or something.
They did.
I don't think
they
was
did.
The case.
You can clearly tell because even when he did the hurricane kicks and the fire, what is Ken doing? Pop, 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 pop. That's all you hearing is multiple hits, but you don't see the damage go nowhere. It's pretty.
Multiple small hits.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a very beautiful flaming dust. But with Ryu, I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, wow, yo, when I hit you, Ryu's hitting you 1 or 2. And he's taking a nice good chunk. And he's a very balanced character.
He's a very meaty character.
He is.
He gets hands inside of you. And he makes every shot count. Because he is kind of a very simple character.
Very simple.
But in this day and age where games are getting more and more complicated, it kind of does feel good to fall back on the more simplified characters. Mm-hmm. Not like the ones that are brain dead great, but like the ones that are average and are supposed to be average.
Yeah.
And when it's really hard to turn an average character great, which is why I like watching your Ryu play because it's always so meticulous, but you know when to explode when you have to.
I get that a lot from you though. I get that a lot from you. I seen you do that a ton of times. I didn't always play like that.
Oh no,
I didn't. Like it's weird because it's like I said, after I faced you in Third Strike, I was like, okay, like I was a rusher regardless. I was always a rusher in any Street Fighter game with Ryu. I will rush the mess out of you. You actually made me become a little bit more defensive and tactical in how the way I do certain things and when I need to explode.
Okay.
So, because like I said, facing your necro helped me to realize that, like, when there was an opening, take that opening. Take it and do as much damage as you can. Every other person that I faced, I was just rushing.
Right,
like,
just forcing them to make mistakes.
Yeah, so it was like, bam, but you was a complete different monster, so I had to learn that technique from you. But back to King. King was such a, like I said, King for me was just such a tool, such a great tool to use, and because nobody really used him, nobody knew how to face him.
That's true. He didn't start getting popular until later games. I think at least.
No, I'd probably say the most popular he got was Tekken 5. He started rising a little bit in Tekken 5.
Yeah, I think they expanded his moveset a lot. Like, a lot of people got, a lot of new moves for Tekken 5.
A lot in Tekken 5. And, man, I loved it. I loved it. When they did that, I was like... Because I always asked, I always kept saying, if he gets some more moves, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and he's currently a problem.
Tekken 5. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Matter of fact, shout out to my dude, Little Majin. My gosh, man, thank you for putting him on the spot. Yo, you know how many times I look at Little Majin matches?
Every day.
Almost.
Every day, I imagine.
Almost.
On your way to work, on the toilet, in the shower.
Yeah, well, definitely on the toilet. Like, not my time on the toilet. Just sitting there, my legs getting numb. I'm like, God, Little Majin. Like,
Little Majin smiled at the camera again.
And even, oh God, even with that, because even with that, people was not expecting that. Nobody was expecting that. For a dude to make it, first of all, one of the only Americans to make it, and he did it with King.
Yeah, you haven't seen a King get far since Tekken Tag 2, and it was Armor King. King,
exactly.
King
it was
himself
Armor King.
Isn't going for Armor King was the one doing all the work.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just like, wow, what the heck? This dude he's making King look freaking good. And granted, I don't like the fact that all of a sudden everybody now wants to be a main.
Yeah, now there's a lot of King names now.
That part pissed me off, but I don't really care about them too much because it's bandwagon jump.
Right.
Bandwagon.
It happens a lot.
It does, and it's stupid. And it's just like you're trying to pick up King and try to play King the way that he plays him. He plays King a specific, unique way. That's not a copy and paste. Yes, he may can teach it, but that's not a copy and paste.
No,
that is homebred right there.
Yeah, it's a style built similar to yours from the ground up. There was no foundation that he could pull from.
No,
he started from the bottom and then worked his way up to the style he has now.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful style. It's a beautiful style. I would love to face him. I mean, Tekken 7 is not really my favorite, and
right.
You know that.
But I'd pay to see that.
I would pay to be in it. It's just I get to face him. Yes.
Well, while we're talking about that, while we're on this topic very specifically, I wasn't expecting to get to this topic specifically, but while we're here, I want to talk about the rolling death cradle. It's a serious tangent, but
oh my goodness!
But for a second, I want to talk about the rolling death cradle. That's what it's called, right? Mm-hmm. Rolling death cradle. I've been in the lab for hours, learning how to break it. So hopefully you never hit me with that ever again. Well, you never actually hit me with it.
I don't think I got close, but I don't think I ever hit you with it.
But I will always do my best to avoid it. But we were talking about Lil Majin at the moment. He, in a high-level play, he pulled off the entire rolling death cradle. Now, as a King player, what do you think it takes from the beginning of the match to when you inevitably kill them with the rolling death cradle to actually connect with someone that knows what they're doing? With an opponent that oh, this is King, break his grabs, I'm a professional, I know how to break grabs. How do you end up, despite all that, still killing them with the rolling death cradle? Well,
timing. It's a lot of timing. Tekken 7 is a lot more easier to break grabs.
Yeah, it's one button now.
Yeah, it's way more easier. But timing.
Okay.
It's all about timing. Because just as much as you have to sit here and time it yourself, you actually got to time it faster than them or time it a little bit slower than them. Because it's all about button commands and y'all matching up in the same button commands, basically.
Okay.
But like I said, it's easy. It's one button. It's I'm out the grab.
Well, do you think you would have to maybe condition your opponent to not even look for the grab?
Oh yeah,
Because these are high level players.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to get caught in willy nilly command chain grabs.
yeah. But also the problem with their flaws is that their flaws is going to be constantly. Most of them are going to think, oh, he played with King, he's going to grab me at least once or twice. But their main thoughts, and literally from looking at multiple matches, they're all looking for just combos. They're all looking for you to make a combo.
Right, for the block and then launch, sidestep.
You know how many times I sat here and I seen Majin sit here and do some old stuff where it looked like he was going to go into a combo, but grab you right out of it. And it's like, what the heck? I wasn't expecting to grab. It's like, because, like I said, his style of way he plays, like his dashing, that thing is amazing. Because you can start anything from that dash with King. You can start combos or go straight into a grab. That's scary.
It's very scary. King's a scary player, a scary character to fight.
He is. He's scary. I like it's such a he's such a complicated character. And I think they kind of decreased his strength when they made the grabs a little bit more easier. I see why they did it. Because it's like, okay, if people learn how to play with King, they just gonna grab you and it's gonna be hard for you to get out the grabs. But at the same exact time, that's the point of the game. You get better. Like, shoot, y'all got out my grasp plenty of times. And in Tekken 6, not Tekken 7, Tekken 6. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
It's hard.
But I guess they're looking at the bigger picture when it comes to...
Yeah, but like you said, just set it up like you're not going to do it. And once people get set to the point where they're thinking like, oh, combos, he's just going to focus on combos. Because I'm gonna tell you personally, I'm gonna be honest with you, on my end, I can't speak for Majin, I can't speak for any other King main. For me, I'm scared to grab half of the time.
Why? If I might ask.
Mainly because if I miss, I'm screwed. If I miss, I'm screwed. I'm just out there, arms out. Open opportunity.
Ready to get launched for a full combo.
For a full combo. And I'm just like, yo, I need this to hit. And then at the same exact time, when it's so many things, it's like if I miss for one, if you break out of it for two, that's going, because that can be a little discouraging.
Yeah. That
can be a little discouraging. It's like, frick, like I really wanted to get this whole thing off. Or even when you mess up, it's like, this could have changed the match into my complete favor.
Yeah, taking off more health, put it maybe in a better position as far as the characters go.
Yeah. But I know you're asking the questions, but I do gotta ask this question. Okay. And I wanted to ask you this question. What drew you to Panda?
There's one specific moment that drew me to Panda. And I'll admit this right now. Every time as a child I picked Panda, I meant to pick Kuma and always hit the wrong button. 100% of the time. I never, and this was in Tekken 3 and Tekken 4. Was Panda in Tekken 4?
Panda was in Tekken 4, yeah. Because Kuma was still in Tekken 4.
Yeah. I always meant to pick Kuma. And I got Panda, so eventually I was just, if I'm going to keep getting Panda, I'm going to just play the Panda. But there's one specific event that made me take Panda seriously as a character I should use. It was, I was at the Boys and Girls Club, I was real young, and I believe it was Tekken 4. For some reason I'm drawing a blank as to whether or not
Arcade? Was it arcade? Or
no, it was on the system.
It was definitely Panda.
So it might have been
Tekken 4.
It might have been Tekken. I'd just say Tekken. This was maybe 15 years ago. The Boys and Girls Club was holding a tournament, and there's not a bunch of people. It's just people that went to the Boys and Girls Club, and I joined. And I was running Yoshimitsu, and then I played this kid. He played Christy. Yeah, so it had to have been Tekken 4 because he picked Christy, and he beat me up. He beat my Yoshimitsu up with Christy, and didn't really know what to do because Christy's always on the ground and I was real young and I couldn't grasp combos. I was just trying to like hit with the spin kick, do the shark attack, and stab them and do all the funky stuff. And so I picked Panda, right? Meaning to pick Kuma, but like I said, it doesn't matter. They're the same character. And I just chose the bear, right? Just say I chose the bear. And Panda came out. I'm not sure what drove me to pick the bear, but I picked the bear. And Panda came out, and I would continually do the double axe handle.
Oh, yes.
Axe handles. So when Christy would just lay on her back, you're getting a hit from the sky to the ground, and I would bam every time, bam. Sorry, I'm making all these gestures, but no one can see it.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I see the gestures.
The double axe handle down and then up, and whenever he would go for some funky setup, double axe handle, and I'll throw other moves out there. She's got the G clef cannon.
Oh yes.
The classic G clef cannon, and a few other things I knew how to do, but they hit in such an angle where every time this player would try to do some funky Christy stuff, I would hit them, and eventually I was able to run the whole set back, and I took it with Panda. No, I didn't win the tournament. I got second in the tournament.
That's still good.
I couldn't beat the Steve player.
Steve was pretty popular at the time.
Yeah. But I took second at the tournament.
That's good.
And I attributed to Panda at the time. So that's where like the seeds of Panda like really took root. And this it was after that where I actively chose Panda after that. Like I made like Panda. If I was choosing a bear, I was looking for Panda. Did I get Panda every time? No. Sometimes I would get Kuma, which I wish would have happened before when I wasn't looking for Panda.
When I didn't need you.
But since then, I've played Panda, but I didn't start playing seriously with Panda until I grew conscious of fighting games and things like that.
Okay. That was like one of the main questions I wanted to ask you. Because it was something I just was like, it's funny that he's asking me the question about King, but I need to ask him a question about Panda.
There's that old rivalry between the two animals.
It's like, hey, like what the heck is this? Like, hold on, wait. I mean, like, I know my dude, like, it's supposed to be human leopard, but let me ask why this dude is all animal. Let me ask this question. Jeez. It's so funny, because I actually think about our rivalries. I think about our rivalries that we had with, like, the two. And I actually I get emotional sometimes when I think about a rivalry.
Emotional?
Yeah, I get emotional. And the reason why is because, dude, like how many times we had a food chain tournament?
A couple, quite a few.
Yeah, and dude, every time it came down to you and me.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time you and me
came down to King and Panda.
And I mean, like, it's so weird. I mean, and this is just all side notes. Like, it's so funny because I was breaking down the one tournament that we had. And this was second tag, too.
Okay.
The one tournament we had. Or it might have been Tekken 6, one of the two. But we sit here, you had Panda. And I didn't beat you. I never beat you. Always came in second place, but I never beat you. Never beat your Panda. And I think that day, it was just like, all right, you beat me 2-0. And I was like, oh God, I was like, I'm gonna lose again. It's like, oh God, I'm gonna lose again, man. I can't do this. I cannot lose. So it was so weird because it was just like I said, you bring something out of me that I don't normally feel. I haven't felt for a very long time. Especially when it comes to Tekken. Especially when I don't know what it is, but especially when it comes to Tekken. You bring something out of me. And like when I won the one match and then it was like 2-1, and I was like, okay, cool. when the second match was, it was 2-2. I was like, okay. I was like,
Heart's racing, sweat pouring down. His back is soaked.
Yo, it was so crazy. And it's funny because I tell my wife this story, and I tear up. I honestly
intense.
do. Because it's such, it's a beautiful rivalry. It's a painting. It's an art. It's literally a yin and a yang. And when I sat there and when we had that match, and it came down 2-2 rounds, and it came down to that last round for both of us, which was nuts. Whoever would have thought that it'd come down to the last round for both of us. You got 2 wins, I got 2 wins. You got 2 rounds, I got 2 rounds. Last round, what the heck? Whoever, and you was pounding me. And somehow, some way, the Tekken guys was like, all right, we got, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. and when we got to that point, and it was just like a little hit for both of us. And like when I finally got the final hit, like that dude, like my mind exploded.
I think I remember that. I mean, the crowd exploded. I mean, everyone around us exploded.
Yeah, I mean, because it was so funny because I seen Ben cry. And I think I saw Keem cry. And it was just like, because I was tearing, I was crying. I didn't even care. I was crying because it was such a long fought battle. And
it was a hard fought battle. They always are, though.
They are, and I think that's the thing. Like, because it was just like, God dang. But your panda, my king. You're right. King has a special place, a crazy special place. Tekken has a special place. Street Fighter and Tekken are very close.
I'm sure it's like
stupid close.
Yin and yang too.
Yeah, they're stupid close. So. And to be able to sit there and just say King is like my main, without nobody saying that, oh, you're on the bandwagon. Nobody can ever tell me that.
I don't think anybody really would either.
No.
At least not anyone that knows you.
Yeah, you're not anybody that knows me, yeah. Like, everybody else would be like, oh, yeah, King bandwagon. Nah, bro. Nah. I grew up with King.
Right.
Tekken 1.
Back when there was no bandwagon. For any of the characters. Tekken 1, there is no bandwagon for any of the characters.
Not really. Everybody actually has a specific character that they're just good with.
That's kind of the magic of the first game in a series. Everyone is just trying it out. You know, there's no pretense. There's no past history. There's no past experience. This is just the character you personally gravitated towards. It's like choosing a main in its purest form.
Yes, and God, that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah,
talk about mains.
That probably take up all the time.
That will take up all the time.
Not before for our next encounter. Okay, so moving on to our final topic, and this is as raw as the question gets. What is your favorite fighting game franchise?
Like I said, it's close with. It's seriously close between Tekken and Street Fighter. Those. If I had to choose between those two, oh my gosh! If I had to choose between those two, man, that's gonna take me like that. Because honestly, when I saw that question, I was like, I can't even answer that one.
It's a tough one.
Like the toughest because both play, like I said, both play a dramatic part of my life. Both play. I remember when I got bullied. I used to get bullied. I used to go to the corner store and play Street Fighter. Take all my anger out on Street Fighter.
Okay.
When there was situations I was having with my family, I used to go play Tekken. I didn't play no other fight games.
So that's kind of like your two brothers.
Yeah.
Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Street Fighter and Tekken.
Yeah, there is no out of these two which one is better. I can't say. But if you want me to sit here and put them in a pair, Street Fighter and Tekken is up there.
All right. If the question were which fighting game franchises are your favorite, it'd be Street Fighter and Tekken.
Yeah. But I would probably say I would probably say Tekken just by a centimeter.
How bad did you feel saying that?
It hurts. It hurts.
I won't make you choose, Quinn.
so much.
I won't make you choose.
Dad, like, now I gotta go home and play Street Fighter like for like 3 hours straight. Like,
3 hours straight.
it's like nothing else. Nothing else.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny, but that's interesting. I didn't know that's you were bullied in school, but that's also pretty much how video games impact a lot of people.
Yeah,
They go into the real world, and maybe the real world ain't so nice to them, especially when they're younger. Mm-hmm. But they can always retreat back into, the virtual world. Like there are Street Fighters where you can take Ryu while everyone is playing the crummy United States people. They're playing their Kens with their crappy fire uppercuts, or their Guiles with their turtleness sitting in the corner. But you're gonna take the original World Warrior, and you're gonna whoop them into shape and show them what it's like. Show those bullies what's what.
y'all didn't see that, so
He tightened his headband.
I tightened my headband. It's like, yeah.
And then you walk out feeling refreshed, I imagine, after some good ass sets.
Oh, yeah,
Street Fighter.
Yeah, shoot, felt good. I actually uppercut one of my bullies one time. I didn't say Shoryuken, but like I did uppercut him. I should have said it. Like, it's like I should have did it. Dang
Straight from the ground, up.
My fist hurt afterwards. I was like, dang, that really hurt. Like, no wonder why he got gloves on.
That's interesting, but I'm also not surprised that it came down between Street Fighter and Tekken.
Really?
I didn't think you'd be like, oh, my favorite fighting game's always been Art of Fighting. It didn't even cross my mind that might have been it.
God, Art of Fighting too. Dang, I can go back to that too. Ugh.
Like that's the old one. Now it's just King of Fighters.
Nah, there's such a chill up my spine, bro.
They're all separate.
Yeah, no, yeah, that 3D jumping thing. God, it was so horrible.
Yeah, I was never a fan.
Glad y'all changed that, SNK.
I'm just gonna put them all together.
I know.
Do you need so many separate fighting games? But yeah, I'm not surprised. But I was interested to see which one you would pick between those two. And even if Tekken eked out Street Fighter, even by a little bit, it's very clear to see that in your heart of hearts they are on equal planes, equal footings. Neither one are above the other because they both hold a special place in your Pecan Swirl heart, swirling around in there.
We're somewhere in there on the sweetness. That's why I take it personal when they mess those games up.
Right. It's a big part of who you are.
Yeah, I just sit there. I'm like, oh God, I need y'all to not do this to me. Like,
please don't. This hurts, guys. It really hurts.
It does. It's like just a little by little, just eating me away. So, yeah, but that's my answer.
That's very impressive. Thank you for all the wise insight. And there was a lot. I'm not just being sarcastic.
Was it wise?
There was a lot to take in, and things I'll probably be thinking about as I'm going to sleep, whatever time that may be.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting to turn it into a therapy session.
Everything can be a therapy session.
You're right. You're 100% right on that one. You on a toilet seat therapy session. Jeez.
All right. Well, that is all the questions. Unless you have anything else you want to dive into, I am tapped.
To be honest with you, and I know we can't do this because it's just gonna take forever, but man, I do want to just touch on the topic of where fighting games is at now with me. You've heard me say it.
Yeah, extensively. You can go on.
I want them to go back to the roots, man. I want them to go back to the roots. All this catering to, people that's just like, we're trying to get as many people as possible into it, and it's like, dude, How you think half of these people that are as good the way they are now, how you think they got there? They all went through the trial and error of winning and losing to get better. You know, you can't, like, when you cater into the people that's just like, you know, hey, well, you know what, we're going to have auto combos for you. Every move's going to have armor. We're going to give you specials and stuff like that. Unnecessary. It's like, take it back to the roots, man. Like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There was nothing wrong with a lot of things that we played.
Do you think fighting games have gotten more complicated and like what I'm trying to say is, do you think they've gotten more casual friendly?
Oh, super.
They've gotten more casual friendly. I think that's pretty clear, you know, with all like with Tekken adding like the rage arts and rage drives and all that. But do you think they're adding a lot of complicated things on there to try and cater to the hardcore fans?
To be honest, yeah and no. You are right. You're definitely right in the case of they're trying to make it simple enough to the point that the casuals can jump in there and they just be like, oh, we're good at the game. But then at the same exact time, you know, they're trying to make it a little bit hard enough so that when the pros play or the vets play, I don't want to say pros, just vets.
Right.
You know, they can sit there and be like, oh, well, you know what, like, I don't like this, but you know, it's still kind of cool. You know, they still have some type of complication. But like I said, my two fighters that I play, very heavy. Tekken and Street Fighter. You know, it goes back to the rage art. Really? Do we really need that? We need rage art. No, we don't need it. You know, there's nothing wrong with nothing was wrong with Tekken. Nothing was wrong with it.
Now, when you say there's nothing wrong with Tekken, you're specifically talking about Tekken 6 to 7, right?
Yeah, Tekken 6 to 7.
Okay, because I could point out plenty of things.
Well, of course, you know, like talking about that. I ain't talking like that's like the game's pure. Because God, we can talk about Tekken Tag and we can go into that whole entire
all day long.
God dang.
But go on. I'm sorry to cut you off.
But no. In the end, with Street Fighter 5, I say here now, I'm not even trying to do certain moves, and I'm doing them because it's just like, oh, quarter circle forward. I'm doing a uppercut. I'm doing a fireball into what? Huh? And I'm not pressing the button that hard. I'm playing the same exact way I've always played it.
Right. Just maybe the inputs have gotten easier than how they used to be.
Yeah, so and it's just like kind of dial it back a little bit. Like you even got to dial back a lot. Just dial it back a little bit.
Because I think there's like a small demographic there that they never take into account. There's the casual fans, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's like their pros. Those are the main two. They're like we need to compensate for the casuals and the pros. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think they ever take into account the veterans of the series. Exactly. The ones who are better than, you know, you're just average casuals. They know the ins and outs of the series as a whole, but they don't necessarily have the time or the resources to invest in becoming a pro, you know. Exactly. So they don't get to that, you know, that pro level, but they're above casuals and they notice those kind of things. They notice when it's way too casual friendly because they're there like you from the first installment.
You're playing it always from like the beginning,
right?
So it's like, wow, okay, I really would like for y'all guys to bring it back a little bit because like you said, like the time and the resource that they have to be pros, right? This is their lives.
Yeah, they make their money off.
Yeah, they get paid for this.
They're literally playing fighting games for a living. There's nothing wrong with it. I would love
to do that. Responsibilities, but like,
unfortunately,
I would love to do that, but you know, because I remember I played who did I play? I played one of my young boys I know played me in Street Fighter 5. Dude was sitting there, give me a run for the money, and I was like, how did you even learn that? He learned a combo. And he was like, oh, you know, he talking big, you know.
Right. Like he knows everything.
And I was like, oh, shut up, please. Like, shut up before I destroy you completely. But he learned a combo, and I was like, wow, this wasn't Street Fighter. I mean, Street Fighter had combos, don't get me mistaken.
Yeah, they weren't very long.
They wasn't very long, but this was like a very long combo. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, man, come on, y'all. Come on, man. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Please stop this. Stop it. You're hurting my heart. About to die because of shock.
Well, as far as Street Fighter goes, Street Fighter V has got very lukewarm reception, so there might be big changes for the next installment.
I would hope.
So that's all I can really say on that. Tekken 7, unfortunately for you, is getting glowing reviews. Every Tekken player loves Tekken 7 except for you.
I love Tekken 7. I'm like, screw y'all.
Except for you.
I don't. The DLCs, like, they're whack though.
For Tekken, yes. Everyone in the chain knows how I feel about Noctis.
Oh God.
And I would love for another time to go into my problems with Noctis.
What they need to do and get rid of.
Just delete his code.
Just get rid of him as a whole.
Oh yeah, but as far as Tekken 7 DLC, that's also for another time because I have very deep personal gripes with it. Even if they brought back some old school characters, I have real issues. For next time, we will talk about Tekken 7
we
DLC.
can definitely jump on that because I have that issue too. If it's the issue I think you're talking about.
But for right now, we're running out of time. We can't touch on the DLC like I would like to.
I need to stop talking. I need to stop.
It's been a pleasure, Pecan. Thank you for coming in and partaking in this wonderful interview.
Well, thank you very much, man. I enjoyed it. You know, keep it 100 with y'all as much as possible. And McWhoopie, you're a great founder of this. You've been doing your thing. Much respect. Heads off to you, bro.
Thank you, sir. And this has been the Bottom of the Pit podcast, where we look to the moon and swap our palettes. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time.